So I had a question from Angela Ortiz. She says, I'm interested in learning more about starting a food blog. I've done research and have found other blogs who I admire and can learn from. My question is around picking a unique selling proposition and developing the marketing. What is the best way to get started launching an online food blog business? So, first of all, the obvious thing to do to make something unique is build it around yourself and your personality. But there's a big problem with this, which is that you basically have to be involved from that point onwards. It's hard to outsource the work. It's sort of impossible to sell the business later on because you have something where the value is all tied up with you. So you don't end up with, a food blog that you could, sell as an entity on itself, on its own. Because without you, it wouldn't be very unique. So that's a big problem around sort of what's like often called personal branding, that kind of thing. First of all, think about if you're really going to make money from this, what would at least what would the initial revenue stream be? So we need to think about a traffic source. So, how are people actually going to come to your blog? Some kind of opt-in process, because you need some way of getting people's email addresses or some kind of connection like that, and then some kind of conversion process. So some way of, someone's opted into your blog, so they've maybe put in an email address to get a newsletter from you or a free ebook, something like that. These just classic so-called lead magnets. Maybe they've registered for a webinar, maybe a free mini course. But how do you actually convert those people into paying customers? How do you actually sell them something? So if you think about that kind of path, initially just focus on one clear path. That's what the initial marketing is all about, really. Simplicity gives you speed, particularly at the beginning. However, the complexity is what makes it into a real stable business. So you need multiple traffic sources, multiple lead magnets, and one conversion process, but with multiple strands to it. This is often called building a funnel. So picking your unique selling proposition, the thing to really focus on is who your target market is. What are they interested in? Who is currently selling to them? And the temptation is always to pick a market that's too wide, too broad. And it's there's this sort of feeling that if you pick a narrow market, it's going to be too limited. And usually the reality is that the narrower the market, the better. The more focused it is, the more likely it is people are going to feel, this is the food blog I've been looking for. This is just for me. So this is sometimes called the horoscope effect. So people open a magazine, look at the horoscopes, and their eyes are directly drawn to read their own horoscope because they feel it's targeted at them. So a wide topic for a food blog might be breakfasts. If breakfast interests you, then how can you get a bit more focused? Healthy breakfasts would be the obvious one. Quick, healthy breakfasts. Quick, healthy breakfasts for kids. Maybe so that's kind of an example of just how narrow a topic should be for a food blog. And then, when you've chosen a topic, now at least initially it has to be something you're pretty interested in, because when you're starting out, you can't afford to pay people to write the blog posts and that kind of thing. You can't be buying content from elsewhere, so you're really going to be doing a lot of this yourself, and a lot of it doing all the work kind of manually, really. So you want a topic that is going to keep your attention for quite a while. Imagine having to write 200 blog posts or record 200 videos on on quick, healthy breakfasts for kids. You're going to need quite a few ideas. And then you'd go out and on the web be looking at book reviews on Amazon, especially negative book reviews. So look for recipe books for breakfasts, or recipe books for kids, or anything to do with healthy food for kids. Look at the book reviews, see the sort of things people are praising the books for and criticising the books for, and then you're going to reflect that in your blog. Go on to online forums, find relevant forums, and look at the kind of questions people are asking. Those are the sort of things you're going to be addressing in your blog. And then the next step after that is get a really good workflow for creating your content, because you are going to get very frustrated having to write 100 blog posts or something in quite a short space of time. I mean, you really do need to start with quite a lot of content to have something that people are going to keep coming back to initially, and B, you can need quite a lot of content to get the so-called Google juice, the SEO. So have a really good workflow, and with your workflow, like from the outset, be thinking about content reuse and multiple forms of the same content. So things like have a workflow that, let's say, you may record a video about your quick healthy breakfast for kids, and then post it. So have the video on your website, post it on YouTube as well, obviously on Facebook. Have the audio of that video available as a podcast. Get the video transcribed using an online service like rev.com, and that transcription would then become the blog posts. So you're recording one piece of content but using it in 3 different forms and in several different places. Those kind of transcriptions can also be posted on websites like Scribd. They can be bundled up into ebooks that you can give away as a lead magnet or can sell. But get a really sensible workflow, and that initially you're going to be doing every aspect yourself, but very quickly you want to ask yourself the 3 Chris Ducker questions, I think, which are what can't I do, what do I not like doing, and what shouldn't I be doing, as in it's a not kind of good use of your time, not resulting in enough revenue per hour. So what can't I do? So is there an aspect of the process that you just really no good at? Is there something you don't enjoy about the process? So maybe you don't enjoy doing the background research, maybe you're happy recording a video, answering a question or whatever, but you don't like doing the background research. Well, that's something that could be very easily outsourced or out-tasked. And then what shouldn't you be doing? That might be something about the process you actually quite like, but that's just time consuming and your time could be spent better elsewhere. The classic example of this is no successful an online person is editing their own audio and video. It just isn't happening. It doesn't matter what people say, it just isn't happening. So if you're spending time sat in front of iMovie or whatever editing video, that's a waste of your time. If you're sat with Audacity or whatever, editing the audio, cutting out the ums and ahs, that is a waste of your time. There are people who can happily do it quite efficiently for a very small amount of money. So, yeah, those three questions are really important. And you want to ask yourself them quite early on. Initially, you do need to do everything yourself just to, or A, because you probably don't have the money to put into the business initially, and B, because you need to understand the process in order to be able to outsource it or out-task it using a site like Upwork or whatever. I hope you found that useful. My cancer fundraising website is at www.matthewdons.org. That's MATTHEWDONS.org. Please share that link if you can and make a donation if you can. Thanks a lot.